just after 5 o'clock in the evening on Monday, July 28th. I'm Bobby Trosset. Welcome inside the channel. This is where we bring you Baltimore sports and beyond, and it's brought to you by Primary Residential Mortgage. More on them in just a bit. If you want to enter into our $100 Fanatics giveaway to Baltimore's team store, you can do so by clicking on the link that's included in the show notes and also as a pinned comment in the live chat. We got a lot to talk about because pads are on. As of today, this is the first full padded practice in Baltimore and across the league at NFL training camps. And so you get your first look at rookies, new acquisitions, like a Jair Alexander, and we'll get news on him as to why he wasn't seen in just a bit, but like a Mike Green, which just so happens to be what this video is all about. And I will say, stemming off of last week, training camp is so important for those of us in the digital space who don't have access, direct access, that is, to NFL training camps, because the beat reporters are out there getting it done, sweating their asses off, sharing content, sharing their observations from their vantage points, and then we go ahead and react to it. So needless to say, but I will say it anyway because it's off the top and it is that time of season and time of the year. The beat reporter community, super important, and we appreciate them. So let's begin with Jeff's synopsis. We'll have some news coming up, by the way. I will, in about a week or so, related to a new show that will include Jeff. Excited about that. But Mark Andrews, according to Jeff's notes, made some big plays today. Penalties erased a number of big plays offensively, including a circus catch in the end zone by DeAndre Hopkins. And Jalen Armour-Davis, a corner, went down in team drills and did not return. So we'll get to the injury situations in just a bit. But if you thought that Mark Andrews was going to go into the shadows, never to be heard from again after that divisional round gaffe that ultimately ended in such a sour taste for the Ravens and Mark himself in January in Western New York, think again. I'm expecting a massive season for Mark Andrews, particularly given his slow start last year that he underwent because of the car wreck that he was in, which was very serious at the time, if you remember. Went on to have, at least for his standards, a pedestrian statistical 2024, and for that and much more, on top of that, it's a contract year for Mark, and his future is very much uncertain after 2025. It would not surprise me whatsoever if Mark comes out of the gates with vengeance coming up. And Bo Smolka from Press Box, more nuggets here on a 7-on-7 period. Andrews caught a pass down the seam and proceeded to sprint the remaining 50 yards of the end zone as fans cheered. The considerable ire directed forward toward, that is, Andrews' last winter after the playoff loss seemed to be forgotten. And guess what? It's never going to be forgotten. But at some point, it could very well be overlooked or maybe pushed aside if the Ravens can, one, get over the hump, and two, Mark Andrews ends up being a significant component to that, which, again, I don't think would surprise any of us if he ends up back in all-pro territory coming up over the next few months. Elsewhere, here's more on the injury front. And Sarah transcribed a few things that she listened to during John Harbaugh's press conference earlier this afternoon. Regarding Bateman, he was sent home for an illness. They basically were trying to ensure that he wasn't getting the team sick. Jair Alexander did not practice today. Harbaugh says there's swelling in his knee. He's getting it drained and should be back tomorrow. Now, if you look up recovery timetables or just have any sort of general macro familiarity with a PCL injury, which is what Jair has dealt with in recent years, this isn't all that abnormal. And by the way, it hasn't even been a full calendar year since Jair did injure his knee. So I'm not sitting here and telling you that you should feel confident that Jair is going to be healthy for the full campaign. But what I am telling you is let's not overreact to this, being that it's the first day of padded practice. He's less than a year removed from a significant knee injury, and they want to be careful with him. So that's that on Jair. Bilal Cohn, the day 3 rookie, he landed on his shoulder yesterday, according to Harbaugh, and expects him to be back very, very soon. And as far as JAD is concerned, absolutely a bubble player, if you ask me. This is as competitive of a roster as they're going to field here, maybe ever. Or like I said, as competitive. Harbaugh, I don't think it's too serious, but we'll find out. We're going to get an MRI. We think it's okay. I think he's on the outside looking in. Unfortunately for Jalen, he quite literally has not been able to consistently stay on the field since they drafted him in 2022 in the 4th round. Pepe Williams was the other player, the other corner, a fellow 4th rounder. He's no longer with the organization. So best wishes for JAD to at least try and finish a training camp so that he can at least, at the very least, keep his name in the running for 53-man roster consideration. But the big one here is that Jair Alexander, they're being careful with him. He's less than a year removed, to be clear, from that PCL. Was dealing with some swelling. They drained the knee. He's expected to be back tomorrow. I'm also not sitting here clamoring for a full training camp even for Jair. Do I think it's be all end all? Does he need to be healthy, an all pro and a veteran who's been around this league for a very long time? Does he need to be, yes, he needs to be healthy, but does he need to be present for an entire training camp? I wouldn't scream that from the mountaintops, would you guys? Not sure I'd go that far. But anyway, those are some early injury updates. You guys knew we would get to this point once the pads came on. And sure enough, on day 1, here we are. I know why you came here, though, and that's about Mike Green, the 2nd-round pick out of Marshall. And we'll get to him in just a second because the dude popped as the first day of padded practice began in Baltimore. Before we get there to the main event, this episode is brought to you by my friends at Primary Residential Mortgage. And right now, if you click on the link that's included in the show notes and also as a pinned comment in the live chat, you can enter yourself in for a chance to win $100 that goes directly towards Baltimore's team store, courtesy of Fanatics. It's a $100 Fanatics gift card. And all you got to do, again, click that link. It brings you to PRMI Mid-Atlantic on Instagram. Comment on this post right here, as everyone else has done. See, this is super simple. Use the hashtag BobbyB with your comment. Let them know what your dream home looks like. Follow PRMI Mid-Atlantic. Subscribe to this channel like you probably already do if you're watching. And scan that QR code that you see on the screen so that if you do end up winning, they know how to contact you. It is as simple as that. Scan the QR code, click that Google form, one of the two, and then follow those instructions with the green check marks on Instagram. And it is as simple as that. And if you're looking for a trusted and local lender to purchase your dream home, look no further. You can experience a local feel with the national footprint at Primary Residential Mortgage. They served in 49 states with over 11,000 satisfied clients in 2024 alone. And I've been with them partnering for close to 2 years now. I've been going back and forth on my home buying visions with them. I trust them wholeheartedly. You should as well. Click on the link, get started, go over to Instagram, and a winner will be announced later this month in July. Appreciate you guys for being with me. If you could, on the way in, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when I'm dropping my daily live content. I know I haven't been daily live all that often lately. Trying to get back to it, being that training camp is officially here. This is courtesy of Cordell Woodland from 105.7 The Fan, and it was a rep from Mike Green, the 2nd-round rookie out of Marshall, against an undrafted tight end. Okay? It's one rep. It's the first day of pads. It's against an undrafted rookie. but it's Mike Green, and I know a lot of you are craving this type of content. Again, shout out Cordell, friend of the show. He's out there. And look at Mike. Just get all over Zaire here. Watch the motor. Watch the get off. Watch the relentlessness. And most importantly, the sportsmanship right at the tail end there. Immediately bends down to help his teammate up after steamrolling him. Pretty classy. Zaire Mitchell-Payton is an undrafted rookie tight end out of Florida Atlantic. I wonder if Willie Taggart has ties to him, being that he used to be the former head coach at FAU, and now he is on John Harbaugh's staff. I believe he was actually promoted this offseason. Does he have the assistant head coach title next to his name now? I feel like he does. But there's Mike from Cordell's vantage point, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute this as I let it go on loop, because I want you to listen to just how simultaneous Zaire falling is to the whistle. Listen to this. I mean, literally lockstep. It's early. It is very early. But an enticing start to camp and an enticing start to the pads being out from Mike Green. It's a player that I'm suspecting will be on some sort of rotation to kick off his career. But man, if that's exactly what he does, kicks things off with a bang and enters beast mode the way that you saw him right there and overpowers his competition, just like Nate Wiggins, even though it's a completely different position, completely different body type, physique, so on and so forth. The one similarity, maybe they'll feel inclined, the Ravens will, to add more to his plate the way they did with Nasty Nate last year. More notes here from Jonas. He took a look at offensive line versus defensive line one-on-ones for the last few reps today. Mike got stonewalled on a speed to power rush versus an undrafted rookie by the name of Gerard Lichenhan. I got to look him up, to be honest with you, and I probably just totally botched his name. But then after that, Mike won with an inside spin against a fellow rookie, Carson Vinson, who's an offensive lineman. Carson had an active day. We'll get to some more tweets on that in just a bit. And Jonas notes that Aeneas Peebles, an undrafted free agent, Cayman Rucker, also had wins. But for the purpose of this conversation, much like the dialogue is and will probably continue to be surrounding Tyler Loop, it's ups and downs. It's rookie learning moments. It's a roller coaster. It's their first training camp. It's the first day of pads. And so I think this time of year, when you can have a little grace, a little patience, and not essentially start to dig graves immediately, or on the contrary, sing these unwavering praises and really anoint certain players in late July, then you're probably going to have more of an evenly balanced look at this roster. And your heart will probably thank you too throughout training camp too, because the highs and lows are real. And speaking of lows, it was that kind of day for Tyler Loop. Jamison Hensley logged his struggles. Yes, he is a day 3 pick. So when you think about the competition between Tyler and undrafted free agent John Hoyland out of Wyoming, you would think the Ravens are going to give Tyler, the actual draft pick, every chance to win the job. But he's been up and down, as he was in OTAs and mandatory minicamp. And while he was solid at the end of last week, not a great start for him. This is all unofficial, of course, and I did see a number that he finished today, 4 of 8. But according to Jamison's notes, 4 of 7. He hit the left upright on a 43-yarder and missed left from both 38 and 45. He made every kick, in the first week of camp last week, but again, the pads were not on. Meanwhile, his competition, who I just referenced, John Hoyland, at the time of this tweet, 2:47 in the afternoon, is 3 for 3. Look, when it comes to the Tyler Loop experience, I continue to exercise, what's the best way to put this? I guess patience, but also an understanding for where they are in the process. Preseason's right around the corner. The first week of September is no doubt right around the corner. But this is a player in his first training camp experience, attempting to fill the shoes of a kicking legend and a Baltimore icon prior to everything that transpired for Justin Tucker this offseason off the field, which now has him facing and accepting a 10-game suspension this upcoming season. I'm still of the belief that he will be signed after that, but that's a story for another day. I think he's got more left to give, but he's obviously got to fulfill the suspension. But for Tyler, it's a young player with a lot of college reps. He's got a big leg. I mean, literally, just a couple days ago, he converted from 60 plus, and there were reports on the scene that shared it could have been easily 65 plus. So the strength, the power, that's not in question. It's the precision and transition to NFL speed and expectation and limelight that just makes you wonder. But this is the reality the Ravens are living in. They're in a win now mode with a rookie kicker that's trying to fill some pretty darn big shoes that have previously been in this town for 10 plus years. And the lone member that was still around from the Ravens Super Bowl win back in 2012, 2013. So as difficult as it may be to kind of pull yourself back and not slap any, be all, end all, obituary-like types of labels on Tyler Loop, I think he needs some grace. It's day one of official training camp, and it's day one of pads on. And John Harbaugh was asked if putting the pads on for the first time affects kickers. And Harbs was quoted, I should say, saying as following. It's a good question because Tyler mentioned that to me yesterday. He goes, that feels different. So I do think it's different. The kickers probably should come out here every day in pads because that's how they do it in the game. Interesting. I guess inferring, like you see here in this photo, courtesy of the Baltimore Sun, that that's not the case leading up to when pads come on. The kickers don't always have pads on. And you wonder if that's almost like a comment thinking out loud, why haven't we done this in the past? Like throughout OTAs, mandatory minicamp, and up to this point. Maybe that's a ruling. Could that be an NFL regulation that kickers are included since pads don't come out, I think, for all teams until today, based on a few headlines that I've seen elsewhere in other markets? So interesting. We have our first new channel member here inside my personal channel, which is great. And it's my 5'8" buddy, my sub 6 foot dude. That's an inside joke from earlier today's noon lunch hour live stream on the Vault. And Samuel Moore becomes the first Bobby Baltimorean. So thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. Welcome to channel membership. Glad to have you back and more involved in the channel. And maybe you guys will consider doing the same now that I've officially rolled out channel membership. Welcome, Sam. And thanks so much, brother. On your way in, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification bell. On to Zay Flowers, who met with reporters earlier. And, of course, he was not available when it counted the most, unfortunately, during the postseason last year. You got to wonder if the Ravens would have fared differently. But Zay was asked about his health, and he says he feels better now than he did before his injury. And they were like, well, how can that be the case? Ankle related. He goes, you just work. I was running hills. I trained with my trainer. I feel like I got faster and stronger. A lot of people, meaning his teammates, have said I've gotten faster and that I got more explosive. Year 3 for Zay. Here he is.
Build off that because, every year since I've been here, I had a vet, and the vet kind of took the leadership role, and I've been learning from them. So I just want to take a step towards that, and I'm learning from D-Hop still. I'm learning from Bait too. So it's like I'm still just taking that step as a leader.
Gotta love it. He had Odell Beckham Jr., of course, in year 1. Nelson Aguilar last year. And now a guy by the name of, DeAndre Hopkins this year. Not a bad guy to learn from. D-Hop, of course, as I mentioned off the top from Jeff's tweet, had a circus-like catch in today's practice. But it was a penalty. There was a penalty called on the play. Ravens Productions just so happened to drop in a highlight of that circus grab. And why not? I know you want to see it. Let's take a look. Courtesy of Ravens Productions. Oh. And unfortunately for D-Hop, the referee called OPI, offensive pass interference. And look who had the coverage. Number 2, Nate Wiggins. But how about the extension? How about the athleticism? The ball placement from Lamar? Looks like these guys already got some rapport, some chemistry. They've wanted to play together for a long time. But look at that ball placed right exactly where number 10 could go get it. So Lamar with the placement, the concentration from D-Hop. Pretty darn good coverage from Nate Wiggins, but an offensive pass interference flag. Laundry hit the facilities of one winning drive. But it's enough to kind of show you that while it is the first day of padded practice, and it is July 28th, perhaps this chemistry, this rapport between Lamar and DeAndre could pay some dividends this upcoming season, particularly when it comes in the red zone, exactly where this play occurred. I like it. I like it a lot. Iron sharpens iron. But again, look at the ball placement. Look at the spiral. Not a perfect spiral for Lamar, but perfect placement. And DeAndre's just got Spidey-type gloves, Spidey-type hands. I'm just going to keep running this thing back. Look at this. And honestly, it's almost like, who cares? Who even cares if OPI is involved? Sure, that's going to matter when bullets are flying in September. But this is the first day of camp. Mark Andrews showing him a little bit of love. Like, DeAndre still got more left to prove. And the fact that he gets a chance to do that with Lamar and Todd Monken and the Ravens, the way this offense is concocted, it's just exciting to think about the idea of that translating to regular season speed and gameplay. And if you're Nate Wiggins, what a great laboratory to be able to get some work in with a future Hall of Famer and the active leader among all pass catchers at the wide receiver position in terms of career receiving yards. That's DeAndre Hopkins. That's the guy that's joining the Ravens offense. And while they aren't in a position of necessity, they aren't in dire need for DeAndre. Anything he can give them will be gravy, especially if, God forbid, knock on wood, there's an injury in the wide receiver room in the meantime. So there you have it. It did not count at practice, but that right there, courtesy of Ravens Productions. You guys want to call in, share a thought? First day of padded practice, over 400 concurrents across platforms. So good to have you guys here. Let's open up the call lines. And while I give you guys a chance to access those call lines, I hope you'll consider joining the Bobby Baltimore Discord server. It's a 24/7 hub for conversations surrounding Baltimore sports, and it is free to join. And I'm brought to the general chat first. where my guy Smitty let everybody know that looks like at Mason Elementary, which I don't know where that is, but Mason Elementary looks like Ted Lasso was doing some filming. So thanks for that, Smitty. That's the type of general chat that's had all day long. Football is pretty self-explanatory. It's mostly Ravens football. Evan's always busy in here. Sod Blitz is making filthy graphics like this. Got to give him a little bit of love. Well done, Sod. That's a clean graphic. Orioles baseball, MLB trade deadline coming up later this week. This is an insane stat right here for those of you who've been following the O's from Jacob Calvin-Meyer. Game 106, just the sixth game the entire season that Adley, Gunnar, Westberg, Cowser, and Holiday are all in the starting lineup. Just the sixth game. It's insane. Caps hockey, off-season obviously. Hoops will get going at some point. Bobby After Dark is always fun after hours. And you get a welcome, by the way. We have 885 members and counting. When you do join, it is free. It's a great way to communicate with me and other folks within this community. And again, it's free. I'm dropping the link in the chat right now. Would love for you to join. It's the Bobby Baltimore Discord server. Let's go to the guest lines. Appreciate you guys for being here. Just drop that access link in. Observations from afar. Day one of padded practice. What are we thinking? Who's saying what? Go down to Mexico City. Ciudad de Mexico. Encantado de conocerte, mi amigo. No, that's nice to meet you. I know.
I know. Hey, it's good.
I feel like saying that because it's just, I mean, at this point in the offseason, it's been months and I have everything to do with that. I've taken a little bit of a cut back here just because of how much is on my plate on the vault. But it's needless to say, nonetheless, it's great to see you. Hope you've had a good summer. Let me know what you're thinking here as padded practices commenced.
Well, I think like that clip just popped up that says that D-Hop, whoever that anonymous NFL executive was of saying he was washed. Hey, you said that of Derrick Henry last year and what, 1,800?
They said it.
1,800. Like Henry said, oh, all right, here's 1,800. And you say
he had 1,921 if we're being super specific.
Yeah. But still, it's like, hey, he wasn't washed. I mean, he improved. And Lamar's numbers, well, no MVP because they decided to have some pity and give it to Allen because it's someone different. And we're tired of it's either Mahomes or Lamar. And it's like, hey, they're the two best right now. One is in numbers, the other one is in rings, but they're the two best. And if you're tired of voting either Lamar or Mahomes, hey, I mean, there's basketball, there's baseball, there's hockey, there's tennis. Go ahead.
I love it. I think that's very fair. There's obviously a distinction between the two. There's a difference. Everybody's chasing Mahomes in a sense, but you heard from Tyreek. You hear from the player representation. You hear from coaches. You hear from, well, usually it's not the executives, right? They're the ones that are talking down on him and demeaning what he's doing, even if they're not trying to do it directly. So I think that's a fair way of putting it. I just dropped the guest lines, by the way, into the live chat if you guys want to pop on. Take a look at this. This just dropped onto my timeline here a second ago, which is rather concerning for one Marlon Humphrey. He just tweeted out a couple minutes ago, lost my wedding band at practice today.
But
so that's the pressing news coming off day one is that Marlon lost his wedding band.
Who wears you know that when you go to the gym, when you go and do exercise, you don't wear jewelry because it either gets lost or sometimes it causes an unnecessary injury because they're tangling on. Oh, Marlon.
This is what he does, man. This dude, sometimes he does things that just kind of leave you sitting like, okay, what was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Mike to put in tell Marlo to put in some laps because of it. So
update here. Let's get your thought on Jair before we bounce. Jair did not practice today. Harbaugh said there was swelling in his knee. He's less than a year removed from a serious PCL injury in Green Bay. He's getting it drained. He should be back tomorrow. You heard my monologue off the top in terms of pumping the brakes, not necessarily acting outlandishly or hyperbolic. This is how it goes. And better now to treat him with care, get him right, get him healthy through the next month plus, and give him a chance to kind of resurrect his career. Because if it goes really well for him this year, that'll mean good things for the Ravens, and that'll mean good things for his pockets. He may not end up being paid here. I think Wiggins is in their future. Obviously, we'll see what happens. Just a few of their young guys. You still got Marlon that's around. Doesn't look like Jalen Armour-Davis will make this 53-man roster, barring something unforeseen, and he's the last note on this list, by the way, that Sarah transcribed. He left practice with an injury. Harbs didn't think it was serious, but unfortunately, it's just been the theme of Jalen Armour-Davis's 4 years. I guess this is, what was he, 22, 23, 24, 20. Yeah, this is his 4th year out of Alabama, former 4th-round pick. But anyway, your thoughts on Jair? Nervous, indifferent?
I think in a way it's indifferent, but I would matter it in a, like caution. Like if he wants to practice tomorrow, okay, warm up. Let's see how you feel. If it's feeling a little bit weird or, it's a little bit swelled still, it's like, okay, you warm up. You just did your cardio. Let's put you on the side so at least you can see the playbook play itself and during training. And then you just give perspective to the rookies, and give your perspective to Sack and like, hey, now that I'm seeing out on the sideline, I'm seeing this and that. Does it match correctly to the play, or is it something that we need to study in case some offenses? Because the first 6 weeks, it's going to be a gauntlet. You got Josh Allen. You don't know who the messed quarterback is in Cleveland, but still, I mean, we lost to who do we lost? To DTR?
They lost to Jameis Winston last year.
I mean, and he's like a regular Joe. He's your, how did Shannon Sharp call him? A Jack, just another
Steve.
guy.
That was Steve.
Yeah, he's a Jack. But we lost to a Jag. We lost to a Jag, so you never know with Cleveland. Then you got Jared Goff. You got Patrick Mahomes. Then you got CJ Stroud. And then you finish the 6 weeks with Matthew Stafford. That's a gauntlet of quarterbacks on defense. So I'd rather have Jair, take it a little bit cautious because I need you as healthy as you can be for 6 weeks. 6 weeks is, and I think if I was Harbaugh or in his job, I would tell the whole team, give me your more than 100%, like 110, 150 for 6 weeks so we can go to the bye at least 4-2 or at least 5-1. If we get that surprise win against Kansas City, I wouldn't be surprised if we go 5-1 in that week, like during the bye week. 5-1. Give me the least amount, like 4-2, but give me 150 or 200 or 1,000% for 6 weeks.
Appreciate you, brother. Great to catch up with you again.
Hey, you owe me that bet. You never said yes or no.
Remind me, because I saw in Discord, I forgot to. Let's do it now. Let's just do our air handshake right now. What are you betting for Tylen?
All right. I'm betting he's getting 300 yards total, like wide receiver and returner, and at least 2 tubs.
300 total and 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
For Tylen Wallace in this offense.
Yes.
Does that include anything special teams related?
Yes, because it's total. It's wide receiver and returner.
Total.
Yes.
2 touchdowns, 300 yards total. And what's on the line?
$10.
That's not the holdup right now. The holdup is.
It was 5.
Total. No, it's the holdup is total because realistically, if he ends up becoming their punt returner, then
you want to up it? This is the time.
hold on. Let's pull up. Let me just for shits and giggles here. So last year he had 193 receiving yards.
And barely any yardage and punts. Like he never cracked 100, I think.
And one touchdown last year. Okay, punt returns and kick returns. He had 67 last year, 127 the year prior. And we all remember the year prior was the game winner against the Rams.
Yep.
That was his one touchdown. Did not have a punt return touchdown last year, nor did he have a kick return touchdown. And he only had, they didn't even trot him out there for kick returns last year.
Yep.
So 67 there, plus what I tell you earlier, 193 receiving yards. I'll take the bet.
All right.
It's total.
Handshake.
Handshake. All right. $10 for me. If I lose, I'm getting you anything of your choosing on the vaultpod.com.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll take it.
All right, brother. Look forward to it. You're going to remind me about it every single game. Look forward to it.
Hey, if he cracks it up before the bye week, because it's going to be a gauntlet, they're going to need everyone.
We'll see. If LeJohntay wins the job, I'm going to be trolling your ass every week.
All right.
All right, brother. See you, man. Thanks for the call. Guest lines are open, guys. Great to be back with you in live format on this late afternoon, really early evening. First day of padded practice obviously began with a bang. If you've seen the Mike Green clip tweeted out by Cordell Woodland from 105.7 The Fan, you'd know that it was a good start. There's going to be rookie moments. There's going to be patience that's required. I'm sure he's going to start in rotation. I'm not sitting here, shouting from the rooftops that it was the best play ever. It was against one of the undrafted rookie tight ends out of Florida Atlantic. But at the same time, it's July 28th. We're starving for football, and we've, our appetite's been satisfied ever so slightly. And that's what we're discussing today, including observations from a few injury categories and a big practice from Mark Andrews, according to Jeff and others that were out on the scene. And let's get another reaction to, again, kind of Christmas Day here in a sense, with the pads being back out. To the guest lines, Jules is in the house, and my, oh my, why do I feel like something might be going on behind him today? Let's go take a look and see what's going on in Julian's household. It's good to see you, brother. Happy summer. It's been a minute, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been traveling a couple of times. That's why I've been in and out on the live stream and stuff.
It's good to have you back. What's on your mind today?
Well,
you like that bet I just took?
You
like that bet I just took?
Oh, I didn't hear the bell. I just joined. What was
300 yards total, meaning could be punt return, could be receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns for Tylan Wallace in this offense. I took it. Manny wants it. If he doesn't hit it, he owes me $10. If he does hit it, I got to give him something on the vaultpod.com.
Okay. That seems like a reasonable bet. I mean, kind of risky, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Talk to me.
Well, I noticed online that people were kind of worried about Jair's knee, and then I seen some comments about it. They're like, "Oh, it's starting already. Here we go." I'm like, "It's really early in training camp, guys. What are we doing here? Why are we making this?"
Yeah,
late?
Exactly. And I tried to kind of express that exact sentiment a minute ago here. It's he's less than a year removed from a PCL. And so you want to be careful with him first and foremost. You want him to get through an entire training camp at his pace. And then most importantly, you want him available beginning September 7th. And if all of that can work out and you can check mark those boxes, then it'll be a great start for a player that has had ailing health for years now. That's kept him from, really kind of getting that next payday, which should he put forth a fully healthy season and a productive one at that, he's going to have another chance to take another bite at the apple next year.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a good opportunity for him. It's like basically, I would say it like a job interview for teams that if he wants to get a contract next year, or or if he wants to stay with the Ravens. I mean, that's a possibility too. So I mean, it's literally up to him what he wants to do. So I mean, he's in a good situation with us right now. He wins the Super Bowl. I mean, he break the bank like easily. So
No doubt. And it's a
yeah,
player
absolutely.
that, really I would think is playing with house money right now because got another opportunity, like you said. It's almost like um, a tryout in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
and an interview. But
Yeah.
yet you're in a situation where should you stack health, you're probably the favorite to start opposite Nate, and that
Mm-hmm.
allows Marlon to go inside. It gives
Right.
more room for development for TJ Tampa and the rookies that were all day 3 picks. It allows Kyle Hamilton to hopefully be that chess piece.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that he can play just about every. He joked about it in his press conference over the weekend, which cracked me up. He's like,
Right.
they're like, what's your favorite? Where do you want to be? And he's like, you're not going to like this answer, but I'm down to do whatever's needed at any time. I'll even line
Mm-hmm.
up as a 3 tech. And he's chuckling. He's like, it's probably not going to end well, but I do it. I'm like, this dude's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
who are we to question that he wouldn't be an effective 3 tech guy? But
Yeah. Exactly.
at 3 tech stance. But so anyway, I just think that it's the time of year where everybody should just consider pumping the brakes,
Yeah.
taking his injury history into context, and hopefully taking Harbaugh by his word that he'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to over exaggerate with any of these injuries because they're just like it happens. It's training camp. That these
Yeah.
things happen almost every year. So we shouldn't be surprised about anything that goes on in training camp. Whether somebody
Correct.
goes down for dehydration or somebody gets nicked up with an ankle and then they'll come back the next following week. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and cry and whine about it. I'm like, all right, it's just training camp. Let's just get
Love
to
it.
the real season. There's no overreaction with me. I've been
Love it.
I've been a fan of this team too long for that. So
Smart. It's a smart way of thinking, brother. It's great to see you. Thanks for weighing in tonight.
all right, until next time, Bobby.
We'll catch up soon. Yep. Julian and Manny. It had been a minute for sure. Guys, if you haven't already done so, would love for you to support my brand sponsor. When you support my brand sponsors, you support the show and the continued growth and consistency that comes along with putting this thing forward. And ultimately, there's a little bit of incentive in there as well for you. If you click on the link that's included in the live chat and also in the show notes, and you go to this Instagram post right here from PRMI Mid-Atlantic, you'll have a chance to win $100 in Fanatics gift card money to Baltimore's team store. So just follow the instructions that you see on the screen. Comment on the post with the hashtag BobbyB. Let them know what your dream home looks like. Follow the account. It's at PRMI Mid-Atlantic. Subscribe to this channel like you probably already do. And just scan that QR code. Fill out the information in that the Google form, because if you win, they'll be able to contact you directly. So special thanks to Primary Residential Mortgage for the continued support. And if you guys haven't already done so on the way out, please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, do all the good things for us. So those were some thoughts on the first day of padded practice. There'll be plenty more coming down the pike. Sarah and I will be back with you at noon tomorrow. That's Tuesday the 29th as training camp rolls on in Baltimore. Join the Discord group. Consider becoming a channel member. Bobby Baltimorean membership is now a thing. I look forward to continue building with you guys. Later. Ha! Evan, dropping in some chatter, aren't you? Dropping in a little bit of chatter. I'll address that later, or maybe in the Discord group. Later, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a nice evening.